Footy highlights for Vic Super. Vic Super's conscious investment option. Super that makes a difference.
To Fantasia, 30 out, 20 out, 15 out, goal.
And they're not going to let this one go away, the Bombers.
Straight to the Goey, who is going to kick a goal.
Good work to Goey.
Goal here to make consecutive goals, and Fasolo doesn't let them down. Adams round the body, he goes. If it holds its line, it's a goal. 3 on the bounce for the Pies, and they're back in it. Fantasia for number 4, and he's delivered.
Rove by Elliott, too easy.
Long kick the ball forward. Danaher, 30 out, punt road end, dead in front for the Bombers. Reckon that went off the boot better. It did. 13-6-84 Essendon at three-quarter time. Collingwood 9-7-61. Still in with a chance. 3RW football for KFC as we're doing a scores service from Sydney and then the Suns. All eyes though at Etihad, St Kilda and Richmond. What an absolutely vital game. Vital one taking place down in Launceston with the Giants 6 points in front, but still more than enough time to run on that one. With the stats, as Essendon 23 in front of three-quarter time for the Southern Star Group at windowsanddoors.build. Lee, and you first, Matthew.
Yeah, that third quarter, Tone, it was 5 goals, 1 Collingwood's way to 4 goals, 3. The Bombers, side bottom Pendlebury had plenty of it, 7 each. Zaharakis had 11 for the Bombers, but that man Orazio Fantasia kicked 2 goals, and he's kicked 31 for the year off the back of 29 last year in a side that finished on the bottom of the ladder. So he's in wonderful form, Fantasia. And just on overall disposals, Heppel leads the way with Kelly 24 apiece, Zaharakis 23, and that man who a lot of you thought was best man on the ground to half-time, Hurley's had 22 as well.
Lee?
Yeah, well, they just look like they're scoring too easily, Essendon. Collingwood gave it a bit of a shake there in that in the third quarter, kicked some goals and 5 goals themselves, obviously, but they just can't stop Essendon scoring. When they do get a little bit of space in the middle of the ground, that bit of speed, I guess, to break into space means that they're kicking a lot more easy goals, where Collingwood really just have to scunge them in a way, to use that term.
Yeah, it's a good term. It's
you know what I mean?
I know.
Might not be in the dictionary, but we know what it means.
I can promise you what appears in things called Urban Dictionary nowadays. It would be an inaugural member. 23 points is Essendon's lead. Tyre Power Twitter at 3RW is football. Darren from London. Thanks for your kind words, Darren. He said it's Collingwood's like a soap opera, same old, same old. I'm just thinking of Una Sharples in Coronation Street and Barbara Windsor.
Una Sharples.
And Barbara Windsor in East Ennis. If you're over there, Darren, in London, you're getting plenty of slow-moving soapies. We start the last quarter. S for KFC, Essendon by 23.
Giants out to a 2-goal lead in Launceston. Bombers have the ball. Collingwood apply pressure. Zaharakis, though, feeds off by hand to Merritt, to Heppel, back to Merritt, surging down the corridor, kicking towards an unguarded goal. Green will be the first man there, and he can watch it sweetly bounce over the line between the big posts. A pancake parlour goal of the day.
Lovely.
Zach Merritt's second, and the Bombers lead by 29 points. It took something just under 30 seconds, and there was nothing scungy about that. The Bombers 14-6-90, Collingwood 9-7-61.
It's an element, isn't it? That's the way Essendon have been able to play the game comparative to Collingwood. A few handballs in and around the back of the centre circle, and then one to Merritt, who took off with it, and then there was a run back to goal. But the ball went over the top and bounced through. But that speed to run with the ball, Essendon have had that in their game, and Collingwood have not.
17 disposals, 2 goals. Let's not forget he was off the ground for 20 minutes, but he's had more metres gained than anyone on the ground, Zach Merritt.
And in Launceston for Vodafone, it is the Giants finishing the better. 6 minutes to go, have stretched their margin to 13 points. Play resumes after that Essendon goal to Merritt. A beauty it was. And a pack of players over the football as Lloydie Essendon move at 10 metres to their advantage city end.
Yeah, they just keep finding the answers to Collingwood every time they challenge. Essendon kick a goal.
Bell Chambers to Goddard, handball to Zaharakis. Out the back, Kelly waits on it and delivers a pass. Danaher on the lead. Gets away from Goldsack. The big arc and the long kick to full forward it goes. Hooker working his way to the front. Might have been held. Play on the call. Front of the pack. Coming through. Oh, look, Fantasia got it. It did. He ran at pace bravely, and he will line up for goal number 5. And that's the way you're going to do it, Lee. It causes so much doubt. You run that hard, and Fantasia deservedly gets a free kick.
Well, he did. We often think there's
out.
a lot of in-the-backs that just don't get paid in modern footy, but that one, he might have just stumbled a little bit, but the Collingwood player came down, and I think it was at Maynard, wasn't it? Just came down slap bung on his back. So even though they're reticent to pay, they had to be in the back call.
29 points is Essendon's lead before the Fantasia kick. City end, we're only 2 minutes into the final quarter. This to put it beyond all doubt as Fantasia, dead in front from 30, didn't try to overkick it for a goal. 5 goals to Fantasia. 15-6-96 the Bombers, 9-7-61. And Lee, do you ever find it when you're 6 goals down, you know it's cast, you just got to do a bit of pushing up to just say the flag is still flying?
Yes, well, I guess again, we haven't seen many in the back, so maybe the Collingwood think that was a rough free kick. But they just can't. I think Lloydie made the comment earlier now. It always looked like this was going to be a 14-15 goal game, and could Collingwood kick 10? They need to kick 10 in the second half to get anywhere near that, and that's probably going to be the case. The Essendon just keep being able to score.
Around the grounds for Vodafone. It is a 7-point lead to the Giants over Hawthorn with 5 minutes to go. Bounce to be recalled. KFC scoreboard here. Essendon 15-6-96. Collingwood 9-7-61. Fantasia with 5. Merritt, Bell Chambers, and also Stewart with a couple each.
Brett Roseberry's first mistake all day in the middle. He's been magnificent as the Bombers go forward. Collier, blistering pace, hand pass to Fantasia, crosses the 50, kicks across the goal face for a behind. I think that's his first miss. I've got him at 5 goals, 1. And 5 goals these days, particularly if you're not the key forward, is almost Vic Super material.
You're not kicking the ball at him. He has to be able to get on the end. Although I must say, with the speed, he's often the one running into space.
36-point lead to the Bombers, and Hawthorn are still coming in. Launceston will keep you posted.
So the ball to half forward Essendon gets a free kick. It's going to be one, I would have thought, to Zaharakis, high contact. Hey, did Fantasia see the 3 alone in the square, or did he see 6 goals, Matthew?
He saw number 6.
So Fantasia, not that there was 3 in the middle, had a great game, Fantasia. Zaharakis kicks to the square. Oh, it's a great defensive mark, I would have thought. It should have been paid to Langdon. As Pendlebury, too slow, tackle, got to be a Bombers free kick. And in the most unlikely form, it is Joe Danaher, Lee, applying a tackle on Pendlebury, and wins a free kick, 20 out for the Bombers.
Well, there's 3 Essendon players basically. It was a 3-man tackle, and Pendlebury almost got through the first one, but then he was pinged, ball fell out of his hands, holding the ball.
Look at this Langdon, how close Langdon's got, because he can see Danaher is ready to snap the ball.
He's got to get back 10 metres, and he snaps it for a goal. So, Joe Danaher. Oh, hello, someone hit the deckers.
Maynard, yeah.
Maynard gets pushed over. Don't know that he was you're not particularly pleased about it, but he's very slow to get up.
There's no need for this tone. I think it was Fantasia the last one. He's kicked his goal, and Maynard's just going back, and he's crashed into his back, and then Danaher's done a similar thing there. They're right on top. There's no need for this late in the game. All it does is possibly get someone reported.
KFC scoreboard. Essendon a widening margin. 5 into the final quarter. 16-7-103 the Bombers. Collingwood 9-7-61 as GWS lead by 6 points. With still 3 minutes to go in the final quarter there. But Tim, big crowd have seen Essendon really put Collingwood to the sword today.
They've been very good when they've had to be. They'll get a free kick here and go forward again. It's going to Watson. Hawthorn doing the attack in Launceston. Could the Giants player draw for the second week in a row? Myers here receives a hand pass from Watson. Thumping kick, but offline for a behind. And the Bombers lead by 43 points, 16-8-104 to 9-7-61 on the KFC scoreboard.
So Maynard long on the kick into half-back. Gleeson flies out the back. Greenwood takes the mark, gives the handball to Varco, half-back to half-forward. Reid, Hurley right on top. He might have ended up in his back at the last moment. Play on the call. Varco's had a fresh air shot coming through. Hurley just allows himself to be taken out of bounds. Right in front of you, Doc Larkins. Doc, for Morris Blackburn Lawyers, can we have an injury update, please?
Yeah, we mentioned Zach Merritt missed the majority of the third quarter. He's been really influential since he's come back, been a contributor, kicking a goal and giving one to Joe Danaher. And Hartley still the main concern with the heavy cork thigh, but he's playing out the game.
Bell Chambers the tap at Collingwood ground level. De Goey wins it, gets it to side bottom. Kick partially smothered, goes inside attacking 50 for Collingwood. Out the back, Bagley goes to ground, allows for Solo to come in and kick a goal. So the Faz has 3. Collingwood's leading goal scorer, 7-minute mark final quarter. Collingwood 10-7-67. Still some distance behind the Bombers. 16-8-104. All on the KFC scoreboard. $5 hot rod lunch. Finger looking good. Lee, it ends Monday.
Well, we know that Collingwood have only won the 5 games this year, but just at the moment, this would be their biggest defeat. That's the kind of been their season. They've been thereabouts, getting beaten by a few goals, and they'd be pretty keen to make sure this is only a few goals too. If they can't pick up the margin, at least minimise it.
Minute and a quarter left in Launceston. Giants by 6 points. Hawthorn deep in attack, and the draw is definitely in the frame there. Ball bounced by umpire Fisher in the middle of the MCG meanwhile. Zaharakis for the Bombers to Heppel. Got a hand pass off to McGrath, who kicks it forward and wide to McDonald. Tipungwuti, who slots a pass down the line to Collier. Well tackled, taken down by Maynard, collected by Langdon for Hawthorn. For Collingwood, hand pass to Crisp. Clearing ball excellent for Solo, fresh from his 3rd goal. Takes a mark on the members' wing. Collingwood will build. 8 minutes into the last quarter. Magpies really just playing for a bit of respect now. Game long gone. The ball fisted to the boundary here for a throw in between wing and half forward for Collingwood, going to the punt road end.
Yep. How long to go down in Launceston, Tim?
46 seconds, Tone. The ball 30 out from Hawthorn's goal and in dispute.
6 points is the Giants' lead. Grundy, lovely tap out the back. Hoskin Elliott tries to spear a pass going forward, unable to do so, and Gleeson takes the mark back of the pack. Here we've played 9 minutes, final quarter on the Ray White clock. They've got the know-how. Australia's #1 real estate agents, and it's 104 Essendon, 67 Collingwood as the kick goes half-back to Danaher. Running hard, Heppel, been magnificent. Slides into the mark, gives the handball off quickly to Zaharakis. Left foot kick around the body, perfectly weighted. Gets it to Fantasia. Didn't look, kicked around the body this time. It's going to bounce to Stewart. Ball out the back. It's going to be an Essendon goal. So well done to Travis Collier. 17-8-1-10 Essendon. Collingwood 10-7-67. Around the grounds for Vodafone.
Langford has snapped a goal in the last 15 seconds that actually bounced over a defender's head. It was a freakish bounce. Scores a level, and the Giants looking as though they're going to play a second consecutive drawn game.
Here it is, Essendon by 43 points. Travis Collier with his first goal of the afternoon.
Oh, Lee and I we can't offer too much time. We got caught watching Hawthorn.
We got watching that that bit of play that Tim was having a look at to have the draw down in Launceston at the moment.
Tim will call this. I'll give you a final score, Tim, when it be all over.
12 seconds on the clock down there at the ball up as play restarts here. Heppel for Essendon, a hand pass to Myers, been a good contributor. Kicks into the 50, no one able to mark. There's a whistle, a Collingwood free kick, about 15 out. And there's further drama.
Yeah, Burton punched the ball through for a point, but the siren had gone. Scores 97 points each. Another draw involving the Giants. Hawthorn and the Giants, 97 points each around the ground for Vodafone. Here it is a 43-point lead to Essendon, and we are 11 minutes into the final quarter. 5 to Fantasia, the leader for the Bombers, 3 to Fasolo, as the ball's on the southern side wing being tossed in.
Giants have played 3 one-point games, all of which they've won, and 2 draws. So they haven't lost one from 5 one-kick outcomes. They've also had an 8-pointer. As the Bombers go forward again, good tackle laid here by Varco. Holds them up, and the spillage collected by Crisp. He kicks towards Elliott, who takes a mark in front of Bagley. High at half-back for Collingwood. He pokes it wide, and Scharenberg, who was the late replacement for Jeremy Howe, marks. He tries to swing it forward with the left. Parrish saw it a mile off and was able to reach across and smother it over the boundary line for a throw-in between wing and half forward for the Bombers, who lead 17-8, 110. Collingwood 10-7, 67, 11 and a half gone in the last quarter.
And repeating, Hawthorn and the Giants have played out a draw, 97 points each in Launceston, as a big tackle by Myers on Treloar. Just on Treloar, his afternoon, he doesn't seem as dynamic today.
Has not touched it again in this last this 12 minutes of the last quarter, and only had 13 disposals for the day.
Cox taps the ball down. He's going to get one now. He has a bounce. Little sideways handball to side bottom. One of Collingwood's better in a losing effort. over the top to Treloar, who got it to Thomas. I would have sworn he ran out of bounds, gave it back to Treloar. Little handball over the top, Pendlebury back to Adams. He kicks inside, attacking 50. Coming through that time, Gleeson knocked it in the path of Kelly. Handball Zaharakis. Tippenwoody the target there, but well done Langdon. Intercepted, gave it to Smith. Smith handball to Reed, bats it back to Smith. Handball Hoskin Elliott, got it to Varco. Varco to Chris, tackled, releases the ball. They've lost ground back to the middle of the ground as Maynard got it from Pendlebury. Around the body he goes to Smith of Collingwood. He can go wide to half forward, southern side on the lead, 60 metres out. Adams has got the ball, decides to play on, pass to the pockets, very good. And on the sharp lead, Jamie Elliott has it. He has 2 this afternoon. Lee will line up for his 3rd. The degree of difficulty is tough enough from about 40 metres, half forward, southern side, punt road
He's been injury hit in the last part of his career, the last year or two, and he's a really important player for Collingwood. He's obviously he's only average size, but he can play. He's good overhead. He can find holes in the defence. He's a talented player. If they can get footy into him week after week, month after month.
He sucks in oxygen because he did some hard running to get there. His kick's on the near side and he's lucky to score a behind. It's 17-8 Essendon, 10-8 Collingwood. A 7-goal lead to the Bombers on the KFC scoreboard. 13.5 gone in the last quarter as Essendon bring the ball back in short.
Yeah, all the heat's gone out of the game, and there was some, to be fair, especially Greenwood, an incident that will be looked at for a late hit on Zach Merritt. But the push and shove all but gone as Essendon go long, only to be stopped by Langdon on the wing. Handball Adams, back to Thomas, back to Adams. The pass is on again. Good leap, good mark. And Jamie Elliott gets the ball again, as only a matter of time, Lee, before he really plays himself into the dynamic form we know he's capable of.
Yeah, well, he was starting to, actually. When Collingwood had their best patch of the year about a month ago, then he hurt himself again. He came back into the side. Weld was there for a week or two, and then he was out injured again, but he's now back. Hopefully we'll be able to, for Collingwood's point of view, he'll finish off the season.
For his 3rd and Collingwood's 11th goal, and Jamie Elliott from 30 metres has delivered it. 11-8, 74 Collingwood, KFC scoreboard. Essendon a good lead though of, 36 points. Yeah, an even 6 goals. 17-8, 110, repeating. The Giants and the Hawks play a draw in Launceston. We'll be going up 3AW football and relays continues through the night. Etihad 5:30, St Kilda and Richmond. Plenty of scores too from the game in Sydney, starting in 10 minutes time, Lloydie, of which Josh Kennedy is a laid out for the Swans against the Suns.
Yeah, this game's really become circle work in the last quarter. There's been only 4 tackles laid by Collingwood, 3 by Essendon, and Essendon have gone inside 50 8 times for 4 goals 2. Collingwood 5 times for 2 goals 1, so no pressure at all here in this game.
We're here till 6 o'clock, by the way, too, Tim.
Essendon take away from the middle. Merritt kicks forward. He just overshoots Stewart, though, and it's all Collingwood. Goldsack mops it up. An attacking hand pass to Adams, another to Treloar, and then a bad one stolen by Zaharakis. He kicks into the 50. That's pretty aimless, but it bounces well for Green, who's wanting to draw men so he can give it off. He does to Fantasia, but he's buried, and the Magpies swoop. Pendlebury gives to Crisp, who's been pretty reasonable down the back, certainly had plenty of ball. He gives to Treloar, Varco back to Crisp, a fumble though, and Kelly gets the ball off him. Support from Zaharakis, but Adams just sinks the slipper and roosts it forward from out of the middle. Gleeson though, good in defence, swings it back, whence it came, and Parrish will run onto it, collects on and then fumbles. Now he's got it. Takes it away from Golden Merritt, forward of the wing, southern side, stands for a moment, back to Parrish, right on the wing, kicks long into the 50. Oh, Waller's going to have to try and outmark Mason Cox. He did enough to make sure the big man didn't mark it, and the Bombers have got the ball. Merritt pokes it forward with the left, and Green marks it virtually on the boundary line, 40 metres around in the left forward pocket.
Yep, game somehow grinding to a halt. Essendon well in control by 34 points. 17-minute mark, final quarter. It's 4 goals to 2 in this last quarter, and Green holding the football up, just decides to kick it to the top of the square. Who gets a run at it? Heppel down, Pendlebury to clean up. Handball Adams. Gets it back to Maynard. Maynard kicks beyond Kelly, 45 up the ground at half-back. Fasolo's got it for the Pies. 110 Essendon, KFC scoreboard. Collingwood 74. We're 17 minutes into the final quarter. A draw played out in Launceston, 97 each, Hawthorn and the Giants. to the wing the ball goes. Picked up there by Zaharakis to Hurley. Hurley handball to Heppel. Magnificent today to Watson. Excellent. 20 metre defensive handball goes back and it's almost charged down Gleeson, but good enough to somehow get a handball out. Got it to Myers to Parrish. Ball now on the southern wing. Overshoots Merritt, but if it bounces up, he'll have about 25 metres up his sleeve to have a bounce, have a run and set the ball up. Squares it beautifully. McDonald, Tippenwood, he flew through, can't take it. Front of the pack, Zaharakis. A float around the body, he has gone. It's an excellent mark. It's going to be Hooker. Big part, Belchambers. Reckon he clawed it sufficiently then, Lee?
Yeah, strong hands. I mean, you only have to control it. He certainly clunked it enough to say you controlled the footy,
Yeah, Yarra Valley Toyota replay confirms same. And this for Essendon's 18th goal.
We don't see this too often, a ruckman who can kick 3 goals in a game, so worth it. His weight in gold at the moment, the way he's playing Belchambers. This will be only 7th disposal, but to kick 3 goals is a massive win for the Bombers.
42-point margin. He should goal from here, Belchambers. Slide angle, and he's missed.
Jinxed him.
He's kicked beautifully. That's why ruckman don't kick 3 goals a game, Matthew. 17-9-1-11. Essendon 11-8-74. Collingwood long on the kicking. Goal sack to halfback it goes. Grundy there as Bagley takes himself out of bounds at the 19-minute mark. Tim, 3AW football through the night. 6 o'clock we're here. Sorry boys for the shock going to Eddie had. And then it is Footy Nightline. Rex Hunt brought to you by the Tobin Brothers. James and the team there from 11 till midnight tonight. Footy on 3AW.
That Belchambers kick might give rise to another one of Richo's weird and wonderful goal kicking theories. Maybe the closer in you get, the higher the posts get, and therefore the closer together they become. As Collingwood work the ball to the middle, and Varco, a kick forward for Solo. Over on the southern side, he has a lead from Reid. Well played, Hartley rattles it away with a big fist. Gleeson collects for the Bombers, gives to Collier. Kick forward to McDonald, Tippengoody between halfback and centre lines. A dabbing pass into the middle for Goddard. It was ambitious and Goddard couldn't quite hang on. Zaharakis picked up but turned it over. His hand pass stolen. Langdon for Collingwood to Adams, who swings it down the corridor into the 50. Fasola got hands on, couldn't hold the mark. McKenna mops up for the Bombers. He feeds to Hartley, who sweeps the hand pass to Hurley, and he kicks to Bagley. Still inside defence of 50. A hand pass on to Merritt. Another one forward to Zaharakis. And now a clearing ball out beyond the centre of the ground on the MCG. Pendlebury arrives to try and crumb it off the big men. He held up ground for long enough for Crisp to arrive and collect the ball. Kick to Fasolo, and he's won a free kick against Gleeson. He held his position strongly and Gleeson mauled him, and umpire Fisher has called it for Solo to line them up from 30 out straight in front. He should kick his 4th for the day, and that would give Collingwood's 2 small goal kicking forwards for Solo and Elliott 7 between them, which means they've surely done their job. For Solo, Julie does kick the goal. He has 4, Elliott has 3. Probably the failing has been, as we would have imagined, from the big men, because Reid and Cox have 2 between them. On the other hand, for Essendon, Danaher's got a couple, Belchambers a couple, and James Stewart's kicked a couple as well.
Just had more options and more speed in the forward line. The Collingwood have got that medium size group, and Elliott and Fasola, they're similar types of players. They're almost like small full forwards, to use the term. They haven't got really breakaway speed, but pretty good one-on-one. And they've both been serviceable.
KFC scoreboard, Essendon by 31 points. 22-minute mark of the final quarter. Hawthorn and the Giants playing out a draw, 97 points each. Back in the middle of the ground, Grundy taps but roved by Myers of Essendon. Kicks around his body and wide to half forward. Goldsack running hard, keeps the ball in front of him. Doubles back, ran through the attackers for Essendon. Goldsack handball to Hoskin Elliott. High defensive one goes back to Langdon, and then he has to go 30 metres closer to full-back as Dunn's got the football. Now he's had a bounce. He runs to the southern side and delivers a pass out wide where Sidebottom has it. And he just wants to send a 30-metre pass up the line on the southern side to Thomas. Plays on quickly. Round the body he goes. It's good for Solo. 4 goals has it. plays on quickly to a running side bottom, to the middle of the ground beyond Treloar, goes to Pendlebury. Pendlebury looking to move it on quickly now. Beyond centre half forward, a chance for Greenwood. It's either a mark or I thought he was grabbed. Should have been a kick to Greenwood under any circumstances. Merritt back of the pack, cleans up for the Bombers. Goes for the boundary line. Parrish keeps it alive. Well done, Parrish. His kick, can Stewart keep it inboard? He does. Can he break away? No, he put it on the deck. And it's
Tone, can I just interrupt? That's really what's wrong with the interpretation. Stewart was doing everything he could to keep the ball alive and make the play, and he finishes up being penalised. I just think that encapsulated the harshness of the rule in certain circumstances. There's no feel, no discretion given to the umpires.
Did you get picked for holding the ball all out of bounds? I wasn't
Holding the ball.
I thought you were holding the ball. What's that got to do with the out of bounds, Jim?
Well, he did everything he could to keep it in play, and he had to struggle to keep it in play because it was very near the line.
Yeah.
And then by the time he got it, there was a tackler onto him, and he's pinged.
Merritt kicks the ball to the middle of the ground. 31 points is Essendon's lead. Myers through traffic. Zaharakis, the looping handball effective to Bell Chambers. High to centre half forward. Big leap from Green, gave away a free kick.
Couldn't get off the ground.
No, as Varco takes the advantage, goes to the southern wing. Gleeson and Fasolo. Gleeson got there first. Tackle handballs to Collier. Wants to go inboard to Myers. Myers of Essendon round the body to Tippenwoody. Good kick too. And he's about 60 metres out, going to the city end.
He kicks very long for Danaher with the sit, and he takes the mark and he turns and kicks a goal. He did it beautifully. The body contact as he took the mark from behind Goldsack, took Goldsack out of a contesting position, and Danaher was just able to turn and pop it through for his third, and the Bombers lead by 37 points, and the crowd is 63,000 plus for a game between Collingwood and Essendon, both out of the 8 and less than likely to make it, although Essendon fans are still believing, and you never know. 63,537, so a great roll-up. Essendon 18-9, 117, Collingwood 12-8, 80, 24 and a half minutes gone in the last.
5 to Fantasia, 3 to Danaher. 18 goals for the Bombers will please them as Treloar somehow levers the ball out. Pendlebury, great to the end as always in a losing effort. Hoskin Elliott to Crisp on the lead for Solo. Really good game from Fast today. He has 4 as he plays on quickly and delivers a lovely pass to Cox, who should have completed the mark, unable to do so. Kelly of Essendon drew a man, handball over the top to Hurley, closer to full-back, gets it to McGrath, round the body to half-back, Danaher at the back, knocks it to the front of the pack, coming through Elliott, unable to take it. Scharenberg does, just got rid of the ball as quick as he could. Heppel, I thought, dropped it half forward for Collingwood. Elliott picks it up, gave to Pendlebury, over the top to Treloar against the boundary line. Is he going to have a shot from here or square it? Decides to square it, and coming through McKenna takes the defensive mark for the Bombers. And just that little bit of play then. I know the game's totally cast, Matthew, but that sums up Collingwood's afternoon, that one.
Yeah,
a missed kick going forward.
Oh, yeah, they were really, really poor in that first quarter when they had the game on their terms, and they just turned the footy over time and time again. It's been the cleanness of Essendon that's been the difference in this game, and their options to score goals.
Well, they've hit back well, the Bombers. Slow start, coming off those 2 crushing, heart-crushing defeats. They work the ball around here in their back half. Danaher, he's mobile for a man so tall and with such a high centre of gravity. He works the ball to Watson on the wing. Watson wearily hand passes to Hooker, who gives to Heppel. Off the instep, works it to Parrish. Oh, a very ambitious hand pass for Bell Chambers, who's got no hope there at ground level. Myers gets in though to steal it back for the Bombers and give to Heppel, who swings a kick into the 50. McDonald, Tippenwoody with 3 to beat. The numbers will prevail. Maynard has it for Collingwood, and his neat left footer finds Josh Thomas on the defensive 50 for the Magpies.
He goes to Broomhead, takes a strong mark as Kelly arrived late. Been good again, James Kelly, I would have thought, for the Bombers there, Matthew.
31 disposals, Zaharakis up to 36, and also Myers I've liked, 28 possessions today.
Collingwood move from the wing as side bottom to Greenwood at half forward, can't complete it. Hurley, wonderful all day, handball to McKenna. Sees a man in the middle for the Bombers. Parrish just getting better as the game goes forward. 37 points is the Bombers lead. Couple of minutes to go to full time. Goddard over the top to McGrath. He'd gone for Bell Chambers again. big man mightn't get any bigger. They don't certainly get any smaller, but they don't get any quicker either as the game goes on. And Collingwood able to sweep the ball to Elliott on the wing. 117 to 80, KFC scoreboard. Elliott to Adams. Adams in the centre square goes beyond that. Thomas to Pendlebury, normally ultra reliable. This time just a little wide going forward. Tied bodies everywhere. Ball goes out of bounds, punt road end Lee. About 35 around from the Collingwood goal, half forward left.
Yeah, it's playing it out now. Collingwood know they're obviously beaten Essendon. Essendon are getting fatigued, and Bell Chambers keeps being the intermediary in the link of handballs, and a couple of them have gone to ground. Gives him no chance.
Bombers are going to win both of their Collingwood matches this season. It hasn't happened for a while. I think Collingwood did it last, and that was 7 or 8 years ago. The Bombers worked the ball to the middle, but Lyndon Dunn's there for Collingwood. He kicks to the 50. Watson makes a spoil onto Goey. Spillage to McGrath, who gives to Myers. He feeds across ground to Kelly, standing at the back end of the centre square. He pokes it forward, and Collier takes a mark out towards the southern wing. The Bombers lead by 37 points late in the day at the MCG. Collier, half distance, awkward for Zaharakis with Dunn bearing down, but Zaharakis holds his nerve, holds the mark, forward of the centre to put the Bombers, no, not into attack. He goes backwards to Hurley, and he kicks it again to Collier out on that southern wing, out near the boundary now, and the Bombers just chip the ball around and bore the crowd. Hurley, now Zaharakis again behind the centre to put the Bombers hopefully forward, but no, he goes sideways, and it does become a bit of a sad end to an entertaining day at the footy. The game started unpromisingly, but grew in stature as it went along. Hurley kicks towards Goddard. The Bombers win. It's their 7th victory of the season, and the final 8 is definitely not out of the question. They beat Collingwood by 37 points.
To win the premiership flag, the Cowboys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
Essendon 18-9, 117. Collingwood 12-8, 80. Fantasia 5 goals for Essendon, Danaher 3, a couple each to Bell Chambers, Merritt and Stewart, and for Collingwood, Fasolo kicked 4 and Elliott 3, the rest were singles. The Bombers by 37, the flame still burns.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag.
The Bombers, Collingwood 12-8, 80.